and that ain't no jive.
Come to praise the name.
The Team, 92.1 FM, Lansing's sports talk leader.
Welcome back. It is The Drive with Jack, the Team 92.1 FM. Today's show brought to you by the Michigan Lottery. Don't miss the lottery's Club Keno Doubler Days when winning is twice as nice. Find the Doubler message on your Club Keno ticket between now and April 30th for a chance to double your prize. Coming up fast, play Club Keno today. It is fast fun. Doug, I was giving a speech today in Lapeer at the Optimist Club, back where I used to coach and teach a century ago. And I got a question about which athletes or coaches you have covered have impressed you the most. And that's a long list. But I don't know anyone who's impressed me more than our next guest. He's a 3-year starting guard for the Spartans, 2001 to 2003. Two-time academic All-Big Ten choice, 2-year NFL offensive lineman with 3 teams. Came back to Michigan State, got a master's degree in kinesiology. Then enrolled in the Marine Corps, became a second lieutenant, 2 tours of duty in Afghanistan. You can stop right there. I feel very inferior. MBA recipient in December from University of Michigan's prestigious Ross School of Business. Tom Crawford was telling me today that how select that is. Less than 60 students worldwide are chosen for that. And that degree, that master's degree, one of 3 he will have and one of 4 he will have overall, 2 from Michigan State, 2 from Michigan, and now he decided, hey, what the heck, might as well run for the Michigan House of Representatives. Made that announcement Sunday in the 2nd District. Want to welcome in Joe Tate. Hey, Joe, how are you?
Good, doing well, Jack. Thank you for the introduction.
Well, you know, I guess I was going to ask you, what are you doing with all your free time?
A lot of my free time now is going towards the campaign. We just wrapped up finals here for classes, and now a lot of it is working on the campaign now.
2nd District seat, where is that district, Joe?
So 2nd District is a pretty vibrant area in Detroit that comprises of Detroit's Lower East Side.
Yeah.
And also the suburbs as well. You have Grosse Pointe Park, the city of Grosse Pointe, and Grosse Pointe Farms.
Mack Avenue corridor and heading up. I was actually there last Friday at the Country Club of Detroit. And so I know that area pretty well, and they'd be fortunate to have someone like you representing them in Lansing. How has it been for you at the University of Michigan pursuing these joint master's degrees? I guess you're talking about natural resources and business, so that is a double load there. But when people find out that, hey, that's Joe Tate, that's a guy that in 2001 was a Spartan when T.J. Duckett caught the pass, and they know about your Michigan State heritage and the fact that you were back there working in strength training with Ken Manny and Tommy Oak. They still welcome you to all their parties?
Yes, they do. Throughout, there's always a friendly ribbing with us, especially in the fall. And it's been interesting. Obviously, I got here in 2014. And it's just been, great just to see these Spartan wins the past couple of years. So I get a friendly ribbing. There are always friendly bets as well that have been taken by certain classmates. Shall remain nameless. And but it's all in good fun. But usually in the fall, it intensifies. Sometimes when I'm wearing some Spartan gear in the fall during game week, I get some interesting looks from students.
Joe Tate, former Spartan offensive lineman, and now receiving 2 graduate degrees from the University of Michigan and embarking on a political career. You actually studied public policy while you were at Michigan State the first time, right? Didn't you do some study on that?
Absolutely. I think public service has always been top of mind for me, and service in general. Just from where I grew up and my family and friends, and obviously the community in East Lansing, being able to do things, getting out in the community, being a part of the community, whether it's talking to students, grade school students at their programs or at their Toys for Tots charity. So I think it all starts kind of with my family. So born in the 2nd District, my parents, my father was a firefighter, my mom was a teacher in Detroit, and it's always kind of been embedded in me, again, to give back to the community, be involved in the community. Going into at Michigan State, the coaching staff there, especially Coach Manny, Coach Hoke, even Coach D'Antonio. Obviously, there's this sense of also giving back. There's obviously a sense of pride, but a sense of responsibility too. So I think that was developed in me throughout my time growing up and being in East Lansing. And in the Marine Corps, I felt it was a good fit. I think it was a way that I felt that I could give back to my country and to the state of Michigan, the place that raised me. So I think what I did coming in prior was a good fit, in a way, a good preparation for being in the Marine Corps and serving as an infantry officer there.
You mentioned your mother as a teacher and your father as a firefighter lost his life in duty there. But while you were as second lieutenant, with your size, and I know that you didn't maintain your playing weight, but still very imposing, did that help you command respect, or that not necessary when you have the stars and bars to go along with it?
Well, obviously, the priority is the rank. They teach us that from day one. You respect the rank. But I think there was a certain part that was helpful for me, I guess, with having my background. I think it also helped me relate with some of the Marines and sailors in my unit, just because athletics, a lot of Marines, they do come from that background with, being involved in sports and being involved with teams. So it was definitely helpful for me. It was definitely a change of the physical activity involved was definitely a lot different from football. Had to lose a little bit of weight to join up.
Joe, you said that while you were over there, you were not injured, you were not wounded, but in terms of what you accomplished over there, when you got back, did you feel good about it? And can you tell us what that military operation has been able to achieve there?
Yeah, sure. So, my unit there, I did 2 deployments. We were in southern Afghanistan, and we essentially provided security for the area and also worked with the locals there as well. So helping them in support of, a very small infrastructure project. So
right.
Helping them build wells if they needed a well, or providing support to build those wells or bridges. So I think that played a huge role. I think we went in and we were able to accomplish what we set out to do, and which was providing security, also training.
Training the locals?
Others. Yes, the Afghan National Army, and also their security teams. So I think it was what we set out to do, we were able to do.
Joe Tate, I say not your average Joe. Not only is he a candidate for Michigan's 2nd District House seat in November, I guess if you are elected, you will get your MBA in December and promptly find a chair a month later, right? That's the plan?
Yes, that's the plan. We have the primary. I'm running as a Democrat. The primary for us is August 2nd. Encourage everybody to get out and vote. And the general election is in November. And in January, like you're correct, those members that do win will be sworn in at that time.
Doug Warren, I'm kind of taking Joe's career in reverse. This is like having dessert first. Yeah, when you have dinner. We started with his district house bid, and then we talked about his pursuit of dual master's degrees from the University of Michigan, a very rigorous discipline. Then Afghanistan, and of course we touched on his days at Michigan State. But I want to go back to your time in 2 years, the National Football League, this being the night of the first round of the NFL draft, and another Michigan State lineman, a guy that you have certainly seen, Jack Conklin, looks like now he could go definitely in the top 15, but some are saying higher than that. Your take on him and his suitability for professional football?
Oh, I mean, just watching those guys, again, anybody that obviously that has played for Michigan State, there is that pride. I know Coach D'Antonio and the rest of the staff, Coach State, they've done such a great job. And watching Jack play, I mean, just kind of seeing that tenacity. I remember when I was there, coaches I had there was one line that, that I will always remember is hungry dogs run faster. I think you can see that, and how he plays, it's definitely paid off. This guy is like, he has a motor, and he just goes. And, there is, obviously, having to have that technique and having to have the understanding of the game, but I think, it goes beyond that for him. You can definitely see that hunger, and I'm excited to see him play on Sunday, and I'm really looking forward to it. Him and the other guys that are going to be involved in that will be leaving East Lansing and going to play professionally.
You're a guard. Jack Conklin is a tackle, so that's a little different, but you do have some things in common. You both survived Camp Manny.
Yes.
And your size while you were playing for Bobby Williams and John L. Smith, what were you, 6'5", 305, something like that?
Yes. So I was 6'5". I came in about 265, and then obviously Coach Manny got a hold of me, and so I was playing towards the end of my career there. I was probably 295, between 295 and 305.
Okay, and right now you're weighing what?
I'm about 260 right now.
260?
I put on a little weight.
So, Doug, if anybody in the State House of Representatives wants to create a disturbance, they've still got to deal with Tate.
Well, he'd be his own sergeant at arms.
I guess, yeah. Any disruptions, look out. Hey, I wanted to ask you again about last fall, because I know you had a bet where you would have had to wear a Michigan jersey to class, and 2 years you haven't had to put that thing on yet. The first year you had a bet with someone who I believe had to wear Michigan State garb, and last year you felt sorry or compassionate enough, this is a good sign for a public servant, that you didn't even collect on the bet. You didn't even make the guy wear it, right?
Right, I did. I think last year in 2000, 14, I did. I definitely collected on that, and somebody actually had to wear one of my old jerseys, which I found amusing, and I think some of my other classmates did as well. But this year, I didn't. I think the just seeing that and being in Ann Arbor during that game, and at the end of the game, I think that was good enough for me. I think I collected. I didn't need to collect anything else after that game.
You know, Doug Warren, I've got to ask this question for our buddy Blue Belly Tom, because if he's driving right now, he's going to go right off the road into the sign pole. With the clock stoppage, the disputed 1 second, and Michigan having a penalty for 12 men on the field, and then trying to rip off Charles Rogers' face mask, and then, of course, Jeff Smoker rolling out and throwing that beautiful pass to T.J. Duckett.
Oh, I think that was it was just amazing. I think for me, always playing and being at home, I think that made that more special for me. Always being as you know, Jack, I mean, it's electric down there, especially games like that.
Yeah.
And there's definitely that correlation. It's kind of the same thing. But I think for me, being able to do things like that at home in front of the home crowd is always special. Even though it's an hour away, Ann Arbor and East Lansing are an hour away from each other, it's still, I think for me, it's a little more, just a tiny bit more special when it's done at home.
Well, Joe, I don't know how much money you need to raise for your campaign, and if it's going to be a contested district with advertising. But one thing you could have done to fund your campaign would have been to have the Kleenex concession. Last year, with everyone crying at the end of the game, I've never seen so many people jumping up and down in delirium, and the people right next to them boo-hooing for 4 hours.
Yes, I didn't go to the game. I was actually at another residence there during the game, but after just seeing that, obviously, like the stadium was just quiet after the last play. But walking back, you could tell, who. Yeah. You could just close your eyes and tell who were the Spartan fans and who were the Michigan fans. So.
As I always tell Tom Crawford, you should be used to this by now. But, hey, Joe, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it. You're an inspiration. Don't know anyone who's going to have 2 degrees from Michigan State, 2 degrees from Michigan, distinguished career in the Big Ten, pro football, Afghanistan, and now on more public service. We wish you all the luck in the world.
Thank you so much, Jack. Thank you for making the time.
We will be right back. Enrico Beard, Detroit Sports.